play together. You take their offense, they're a 1970s offense. They run the eye attack and they just power the football at you. They don't make mistakes. They play to their defense. Their defense will get the ball back for them with turnovers, interceptions, and fumbles. The other thing to remember is they jump on opponents in the first quarter.
Tonight we see the end of what has been nothing short of a brilliant career. Eric Zier plays his final Southeastern Conference football game. We're glad to be a part of that.
And Ron, he's a great quarterback. But what they need tonight is the Alabama game plan where they were able to run the football against the Alabama defense. They have to run the ball tonight to have any chance to win. They need right around 130 yards rushing to have any success tonight because they need to take pressure off Eric Zier. Last year he was sacked 6 times by this Auburn defense. If they don't get a running game, it'll be the same tonight.
Well, let's head down to the sidelines. The third member of our telecasting crew tonight trying to be heard over 85,000 strong. Let's go to Mike Adamle. Mike?
Well, Ron and Mike, you have the crowd figure right, 85,000 plus on hand. A gate receipt expected to top $1 million. A far cry from yesteryear when this game was played in Columbus, Georgia. You know, back in the 1920s, there were a pair of chemistry professors and football pioneers, Georgia's Charles Hurdy and Auburn's Cliff Hare, who would get together at Hare's house after the game, empty out an old cigar box, spread it out on the kitchen table, and divvy up the gate receipts. $1 for you, $1 for us. It wasn't windfall profit, but as I understand it, it did buy a few leather helmets. You know, Hare and Hurdy were brilliant men, but could they have ever known in their wildest dreams that their beloved game would get this big?
So it's the Auburn Tigers and the Georgia Bulldogs. We'll be back with the opening kickoff after this.
We've helped 1 million people live a better life with consumer loans, and millions more plan for retirement. We've provided the security of life insurance for 15 million lives. And while we'd like to be known for all the things we've done, we're still a little better known for our building. Transamerica, consumer loans, retirement plans, and life insurance.
You need a lot of energy for 3 kids, and even more energy for all their toys. We went through batteries like candy. Mom! That was before Rayovac Renewal, alkaline batteries that are reusable.
Like 25 times.
Not like old-fashioned rechargeables. Renewals are alkaline, so the charges last longer. The power station's so easy, the kids think it's another toy.
Toy?
Me, I think of it as a piggy bank. Rayovac Renewal, reusable alkaline batteries.
Smart move.
Well, they've been standing here. The student section has been filled for some time now, so let's let them play football. As you look at Hassan Graham, who is back in the deep safety for the Georgia Bulldogs. And the 98th meeting between these 2 bordering states about to get underway. Hines Ward at the 20-yard line. With the groan of the crowd, it's a return of 18. The starting lineup brought to you by Russell Athletic. Eric Zier, his final SEC game tonight. It has been a great career to follow. Wide receiver Hassan Graham, who was back in the deep safety just now. He's come back from some early season injuries. He's caught 9 touchdown passes. The offensive line, they'll be tested tonight. Troy Stark, number 79, making his 19th straight start for the Georgia Bulldogs. Terrell Davis breaks it for 5, now counted off at 10, and here are the starters on defense for the Auburn Tigers. Mike Pelton, he has had an All-American season. He leads a very good front 4 for the Auburn Tigers. The linebackers, Jason Miska, the number 2 tackler on this football team, extremely active group of linebackers as well. Into the secondary, they have intercepted a total of 20 this year. Chris Shelley is the only senior back there. Zier with his first toss over the middle, has it complete. Davis out of the backfield, across midfield, and he's up and running inside the 35 to the 31.
Ron, 2 quick points. Number one, Georgia had an open date last week. The first time they've been open since the season started. They went right to camp 9 straight weeks. They look fresh. Second thing is, Eric Zier will be successful tonight if they can run the ball, which they did on first down, and they can keep him under center with the 2 backs, because that gives you both the run and pass threat. Good start for Georgia.
Bowie and Ward, the setbacks for the Georgia Bulldogs. 37 yards on that last play. And this running play to the 30. Anthony Harris will step up quickly and make the hit. And that brings a quiet to the Georgia faithful as you look at Ray Goff on the sideline. 2-3, his career record against the Auburn Tigers. Trying to get this one tonight to move a step closer to possibility of playing in a bowl game this holiday season. This one would indeed be a huge win for the Georgia program. Zier lobs it over the middle. Wow, just as the pass is caught, Jason Miska is right there to make the hit on Terrell Davis.
Ron, a good tackle by Jason Miska, but I like the game plan by Wayne McDuffie and Greg Davis, the 2 offensive coaches. Eric Zier again taking the ball from center, throwing the quick pass to Terrell Davis, but again, he's under center, so he's not in the shotgun, so you've got the run-pass effect.
Third down, the line to make the 21. Jings it incomplete, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Maurice Harrell. And I'm not too sure that Gary Walker either got a piece or rushed him so much that he couldn't get the good pass off that he wanted.
There was good pressure by Gary Walker, and the ball looked like it was thrown a little bit too hard for the receiver. A little bit too short, too hard to Maurice Harrell. At least they have to come away with a field goal. Very important he makes this for Georgia to get off to a good start.
Kevin Parkman, a 41-yard field goal attempt. Plenty of distance, and he's good. So on the far sideline, Eric Zier talks over what happened on that opening drive, and like the way they moved the football on the first 2 plays particularly, you thought that they were going to come away with more than 3 points.
Well, you're right, Ron. But the most important thing for Georgia is confidence when you're reeling a little bit from the loss they had at Florida. But they need to take pressure off of Eric Zier, put him under center, run the ball, little short passing game, because he's playing an Auburn defense that's very sound. So a nice start for this Georgia football team.
Jerry Bowden, it's numbers. It's almost too much to conceive that a young guy can come in, 1 AA program, and go 20-0 and under the circumstances to a Division I program, but that's exactly what's happened here.
I saw Pat Dye last night in the hotel, and he was talking about Terry Bowden. He said, hey, I didn't leave him any great players. I left him some good people, and he's rallied those players. So Pat Dye did leave a lot of fine football players here, but Terry Bowden's been able to mold them and use the NCAA thing, the fact that they can't go to a bowl game, as a motivator. Here comes the problem for Georgia defense. They've had a problem stopping the run. They've had a problem on that side of the ball. They're going to face an Auburn offense that's just going to try to ram it down their throat.
And the way the offense has played for Auburn, particularly the use of the offensive line, they have played a lot of ball control. They're capable of doing it. Hartman will kick it off. At the 15-yard line. Across the 25 and out to the 30-yard line is Malcolm. That's a gain of 16 on the return. Patrick Nix, he's a coach's son, really understands the game, and the coaches say adjust extremely well. The wide receivers, number 81, Frank Sanders. He's a 2-sport star. He is their go-to guy, also a very fine baseball player. And in the offensive line, center Shannon Robique is the most consistent of what is a very good offensive line for Auburn. That's going to throw on first down. This is going to be overthrown. Sanders is the man that he was looking for. The starters on defense for the Georgia Bulldogs. Travis Stroud, he is going to start. Don't know how much he's going to play tonight. He has a knee injury that's going to require scoping. The linebackers, Randall Godfrey, he's the best of the linebacking crew. He's going to be busy tonight with his Auburn running attack. And in the secondary, well, they have had to make a lot of tackles this year. Senior Will Muschamp plays his last conference game this evening against Auburn. This time from the shotgun on second down. Nix goes to pass, overthrown, and again he was looking for Sanders, and the ball was well overthrown. Almost 58% on Patrick Nix. 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and you can see 1,755 yards.
In the last 3 games, Ron, he's been the Southeastern Conference Offensive Player of the Week twice. So he's had some good ball games the last 3 ball games.
One of the things you can look for tonight, the coaches say not what you would consider a great arm, but they think he throws a terrific long ball because he throws a very soft pass. Lobs this one and has it complete in the flat. Ball is fumbled and is going to be recovered by Auburn. Let's see where they say he's going to knock it out of bounds. Bailey got over to make the recovery of the Davis fumble.
Interesting start for Auburn. 3 straight passes.
Fumble went forward, not a bounds. Ball returns to the spot of the fumble.
So the ball goes back to the spot of the fumble. It is 4th down and the first punt of the evening. See the average on Daniel. His long is 62, an average of 45 yards per punt. McCraney is the deep man for Georgia. Not a spiral, but very, very deep. McCraney from the 15. "51 yards on the punt." So let's take a break as you look at the Georgia defense. We'll be right back.
Pros wear Russell Athletic because it's made tough. It has to be.
Hey, kid! Hey, you got my lucky jersey.
Yeah?
I got kind of carried away. Can I have it back?
You gotta be kidding.
Come here, you little pipsqueak. No fun, Dad.
No!
Fine.
You want athletic wear that can survive anything? Get Russell Athletic. Get tough.
Who was that kid? I don't know. Let's sign him up.
At the Honda factory in Ohio, every Accord is given a bath before it's painted. A zinc phosphate bath. It helps fight rust and corrosion over the life of the car. Now, why do we go to such lengths? That's why.
ESPN's presentation of Saturday Night CFA is brought to you by American Honda, who's been making quality automobiles in America for the past 12 years. Well, what you're looking at, part of senior night. Big Mike Pelton, who has had such an outstanding career here at Auburn. Grading his parents. He's a senior out of Goshen, Alabama. And Frank Sanders, also another one of the seniors being honored here this evening as the seniors got an opportunity to take a walk alone and meet their relatives on the field just prior to kickoff. Running play, Terrell Davis breaks it off, has 5, 6, 7, and 8, and he'll take it out close to the 35. And that is Subtle, who comes up to make the hit on him, and a gain of very close to 9 yards in the play.
This is the same game plan that Georgia went into the Alabama game with. They really had a chance to beat Alabama. They were a play away from beating them, but running on first down, trying to get Eric Zier in a shot where he's got second and third downs with short yardage.
Bowie and Davis the setbacks, and the putback goes to Davis. Nothing to the right, comes back to the left side, and he's very close to having the Georgia first down.
Well, when this team plays well, they run the football. You look at Alabama, they lost the ball game. Very well could have won that game. 33 rushes, 161. Clemson, they won 26 rushes for 155 yards. I said tonight, if they could get between 130 and 150 yards, they've got a shot against Auburn.
3-0. Bulldogs leading if you just joined us. Just under 11 minutes to play, opening quarter, and boy, there's nothing doing here. That's Miska and Anthony Harris who come up to have an answer on that play, along with number 90, Willie Whitehead.
Well, we've had Eric Zier 4 times this year. He's a gutty performer, fierce competitor, student of the game, but what makes him the best quarterback throwing the football, I think, in the country is the fact of his vision. He can eye up the defense, and he knows where his receivers are, and he's an accurate passer.
Play action this time goes to the running back. Davis had it go right through his hand. Mostella had the cover on the play, but he came very close to giving up a big one.
And you can't throw the ball any better than that. He had the ball right on the money to Terrell Davis, number 33. First of all, you're going to see the fake. Pretty good fake. Now he's going to get pressure from Marcellus Mostella, number 47. Here comes the pressure, but yet he still was able to float the ball out, almost get the completion of Terrell Davis.
So it's third down, and they need 9 yards to pick up the first down as Hines Ward checks into the backfield for Georgia. Pass is caught. Good for the first down, and moving is Juan Daniel. Still on his feet, and he'll take it down inside the 45-yard line. Brian Robinson on the tackle, and I can tell you this is an aroused Georgia football team.
Again, you go back to the fact they had an open date, the first chance they had to rest. But, Ron, when you look at this ball club, they may struggle a little bit in the offensive line on defense, but their receivers are as good as Florida's, and their quarterback is better. So their passing game has a chance to be the best in the Southeastern Conference. They just have not had the benefit of running the football.
20 yards on the pass play. First down at the Auburn 42. Running play. Davis has 5, 7, 8, and 9. And let's check in for the first time tonight with Mike Tirico. Mike, how are you?
Good, Ron. You may have seen the score go by. It wasn't a mistake, folks. Miami leads by just 5. John Ryan of Pitt to Bill Davis, and Pitt has the ball at the Miami 42 with 3:40 left.
Boy, it's been that kind of Saturday, hasn't it? Penn State had to come from behind. Alabama had to come from behind. NC State had to come from behind to whip Duke. Right now, Georgia's playing Auburn off their feet. Davis, right side, going to have the first down and 5 more. He gets tagged. Checking it, Selma Callaway, who carried the ball.
An excellent block from Maurice Harrell, number 49, the tight end. You see him on the outside, number 49, just blocked down inside. Get a good block on Willie Whitehead, which really opened the play for Callaway, number 32, to go for a good game.
Callaway is a redshirt freshman out of Colquitt, Georgia, 5'11", 208. They go with the running play again. It'll be worth 4 yards. 53. Anthony Harris is down at the bottom of the pile for Auburn. But the thing that is happening right now with Georgia, which we haven't seen this year, which Mike noted, is the fact that they are keeping it on the ground and the surge of the offensive line, and they deserve credit.
They
are doing it very well.
You're right, Ryan. Look at the front four of Auburn. Good movement here, but good blocking by the offensive line. Rusty Beatles, number 70, with a nice block there on Mike Pelton.
Quick screen comes to the near sideline. Bryce Hunter up the sideline, steps out of bounds. That's going to be at the 16-yard line, but that is good for another Georgia first down.
Ron, the other point I want to make is Alabama snuck by Mississippi State today. When you have your big ball game at the end of the year, sometimes you have a tendency to look ahead just a little bit. Auburn has Alabama next week. Maybe, the fact that they're going to play them next week, that they have not prepared as so they need to against this Georgia football team.
Georgia on 2 possessions has been inside the 20 twice. Terrell Davis, he's going to be hit at the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1. And Anthony Harris, who has already been in on, we know, 3 individual tackles and 1 assist, is the man who brings him down.
But this team is not 20-0 for 2 years in a row without playing hard and knowing what they're doing. But the important thing for Georgia in this drive is not to come away with just a field goal. They need to get in the end zone because Auburn has firepower. They need 6, and then to tackle on the extra point in this drive.
Zion heading out of the backfield. Terrell Davis being covered by Anthony Harris. And the pass goes incomplete.
Big
so
third
it's going to
down.
be third, yeah.
Big third down now for this Auburn defense. They'll bring in 2 defensive backs. Fred Smith comes into the ball game. You see the play selection here. 9 running plays, 7 throwing. Good mix by the Georgia offense.
This is Scott Stacy, number 54. Checks into the lineup defensively for the Auburn Tigers. Third down, and the line to make is the 6 of Auburn. Zaire for the end zone. Nobody's there. Willie Whitehead has really been putting extreme pressure from that right side, and he did again that time.
Well, that's what you want out of your defense. You want to be able to get your pass rush out of your front 4. Willie Whitehead working against Troy Stark. Number 75 hits Eric Zier just as he throws the football and forces another field goal attempt.
Kevin Parkin will attempt this field goal from 32 yards. Good pass and distance, and he's good. So we'll take a break. 7:03 left in this opening quarter. The Dogs 6 and the Tigers nothing.
That wasn't so bad.
Well, I wouldn't congratulate yourself quite yet.
I see.
What is it?
Nothing. Guess who?
I'm sorry.
It's fine. Excuse me.
Don't you just love the wind through your hair?
What I have left.
Just down Sunset and up the incredible California coast is Wolfgang Puck's latest culinary creation, Granita. It's a touch of the Mediterranean with a dash of the Pacific. And if you go there, bring your appetite for travel and your Visa card.
It's perfect.
Because Wolfgang's grilled prawns will take you to the Mediterranean, but Granita won't take American Express.
I love to cook, and I love to eat even more.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
2 field goals by Cannon Parkin, and that's how we stand at 6-0, just over the midway point. As you look at the numbers on the Georgia scoring drive, 13 plays, 59 yards, 4 minutes and 56 seconds. Those are extremely long drives for this offense, which had been short on the field in quick play. Big play.
It's just the reverse of what you've seen out of them most of the year, except for the Alabama and the Ole Miss game. And Ron, now I would expect Auburn. Now they threw 3 times on the first drive. I expect them. They're facing a 7-man front to load it up and get the ball in their tailback's hands, Stephen Davis, and run the football in this drive.
Parkman will get it started again here. It's going to be the second time Auburn will have touched the football tonight. Georgia twice and 2 field goals. This is going to come down to Thomas Bailey. And Thomas will bring it out to the 28-yard line. And on special teams, it's Philip Benton who makes the stop after a 23-yard return.
You're looking at Patrick Nix. Frank Sanders, wide receiver, said he's always sure of himself and he's always positive. And this is not a team that's going to crack here in the early going. I'd say they'll go back to running the football, which they do the best.
Mike, what is it about coaches' kids? So that's what all the coaches talk about when they talk about Nix. They say, you know, he anticipates it. He's very coachable.
Been around the game. He's watched it. He's watched his dad, so he's had a little moxie.
Here they go with a running play, and Davis, as Mike suggested, takes it for about 3 yards, just across the 30. Good look at Stephen Davis. Extremely strong. 11 rushing touchdowns, and look at the numbers on him. 1,026 and an average of almost 6 per carry.
Ron, I mentioned in the open, this is a 1970s offense, an eye attack that powers the football. Toss is an off-tackle play, the belly, the sprint draw, the plays that people ran in the 1970s.
You see him pull the guards, counter play, and there's the hold, and he slides down as Davis was trying to get a little bit more, and as a result will not have the first down. Going to be a 1.5 yards short, but you could see Willie Anderson, number 71, with a very good block.
See, the advantage that Auburn has in this ball game is you see the counter with Stephen Davis and the big block by Willie Anderson is their big tackles. Willie Anderson is 306 pounds and Victor Riley on the other side is 310. They have a very solid offensive line. That's what leads this football team.
Third down and short. They go with the pitch play. Davis to turn the corner. Flag comes down and he breaks it open. At the 50. Cuts back and he has 1 man to beat. Cuts again. Still on his feet. First and goal Auburn. But let's check the flag back at the line of scrimmage. Holding against the Tigers. Bring back a 56-yard run.
Usually where that flag is coming from, it's either a tight end or a wide receiver that would be called for the hold.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty, spotted the ball, repeat third down.
So from the spot, and Mike, it's going to come back to the 20, almost a 28-yard line. Just consider that a 66-yard penalty because you are racing a 56-yard run.
But what that shows you, the coaches up in the press box there, is they know they have that play. They know they have the toss to the weak side.
So repeat third down. And now for the Tigers, it is third. They need about 9 yards to keep this drive going. 6-0. Georgia leads. About to go under 5 to play. Opening quarter. Nix zings it, has it complete. Bailey finally knocked out of bounds, but he's at the Georgia 44.
Nix is going to hit number 18 Thomas Bailey on a deep hook pattern against Eric Robinson, number 29. And what makes these receivers so dangerous is yards after the catch.
Boy, Mike, these receivers remind me a lot of some of the earlier day Florida State receivers. Tall and lean. It's very quick.
Same type of receivers.
And now a timeout has been called by the Auburn Tigers. So we'll take a break. 4:57 left to play. Opening quarter. Georgia on top.
From 19 from Jacksonville, 22 from Silversburg, 25.
Let's play soccer! Yeah!
Want to be a more complete soccer player? ESPN Home Video Series introduces Let's Play Soccer, an instructional and fun tape for players of all skill levels.
Learn the 3 laws of defense: immediate pressure, cover, and balance.
Learn the 3 keys to offense: width, depth, and support. Any sport is more fun if you play it better. Here's how to order. Let's play soccer.
To order Let's Play Soccer, call 1-800-717-ESPN. Only $14.98 plus $4 shipping and handling.
This could be your arm. This could be your chest. These could be your shoulders. This could be your thigh. This could be your stomach. This could be your back. This could be your body. This could be the way. The Soloflex Muscle Machine, just $39 a month. Call now for a free brochure.
Mike Tirico and Tom Jackson here at Radio Shack to kick off ESPN's NFL Pro Bowl sweepstakes.
To enter, drop by any Radio Shack, vote your favorite players into the NFL Pro Bowl, and you could win a trip to see the game in Hawaii or great Radio Shack prizes.
Here comes a voter now. She cuts left. She's racing towards the ballot box.
Uh-oh.
I hope you're voting for me.
Vote for you? You couldn't sack a bag of groceries.
Whoa! ESPN's NFL Pro Bowl sweepstakes. Enter at Radio Shack.
6-0, Georgia on top, and you see we have 4:57 left in this opening quarter. So the Tigers with the first down, and the first time in Georgia territory tonight, Mike. Pitch to Davis, turns the corner. That's a good, not many times do you see a one-on-one stop like that. And Mike Adamle, let's check in with you.
You know, Ron and Mike, Stephen Davis came in tonight as the SEC's second leading rusher, and it's easy to see why. This was the play that was called back. But watch number 5, the fullback, Joe Frazier. He has been doing this all year long. He's a former nose guard and linebacker, and wham, Will Muschamp goes to the turf, and that allowed Davis to break loose.
Okay, Mike, I'll tell you a little story about Joe Frazier. 1991, Mike and I were doing him in Knoxville, Tennessee. He had a screen pass that he caught there for 78 yards for a touchdown. Pass deep over the middle. At the one, knocked away. Wanted Thomas Bailey, but Muschamp got back there to knock it away. And let's check in with Mike Tirico. Mike?
Well, Ron, some of those great finishes. You mentioned great comebacks. North Carolina State was down 16, took the lead, and Todd Cochran missed his 4th field goal of the day from 52 yards out, and NC State wins by 1. Pitt got as close as the Miami 25, but the Canes hang on to win by 5.
Okay, Mike, thanks so much. Boy, in that first ball game, it looked as though he had the distance on that thing that off just a little bit.
Hey, Ron, you know, today Dan Mowry hit a couple field goals for Florida State, and I thought that was great. Here's a guy who's been sitting for a couple of years, got his chance, and made the most of it today.
I'll talk more about that in just a minute. You're exactly right. I was sharing those same feelings. On third down, ball is caught at the 35-yard line. That'll be enough for the first down, and here comes a flag, and that is really a stupid play on the part of the Georgia defender because he's out of bounds. Now it's going to cost 15 more yards. You can't be selfish when a team effort is going the way this one is going tonight.
No, but I want to go back to the 2 field goals that Georgia made. You've got to score touchdowns against the good football teams. Field goals aren't going to get it done because they're going to come back on you. So you need to really get 6 now when you're down there. 2 opportunities for Georgia, and they settle for 2 field goals. But an Auburn team's on a drive.
Here's the end of the play right here. You see Bailey go out of bounds.
I think they're going to call it on Carlos Yancey, number 20. Just a little late push.
And it's magnified when you do it right on the home team's bench. So the penalty is stepped off, and the new line of scrimmage will be the 18-yard line. Mike, speaking of Mowry of Florida State, I visited with him in the practice field the week before the Miami game. He is a kid who is from the Tallahassee area, and he said that day, he said, I'd give anything just to contribute because I don't want people to remember me as wide right. He said, I think you know, my career was a little bit more than that. So I was with you. I was glad to see him do well.
I'm so happy for him, and I think that's a good sign for kids who are playing the game of football or any other game, that you play the role, and then when you get a chance to get back in there, you make the most of it.
Straight ahead with the handoff. This will go for a couple to the 15-yard line. 6-0. The Georgia Bulldogs on top. We are now under 4 minutes to play in this first quarter. Walter Rouse, who is the nose guard, is down at the bottom of that pile.
Now that come back with a toss sweep left here. It put the same formation, the same side, exactly the play that they ran with so much success just a little bit ago.
And they bring it back into the boundary this time, and a good defensive play. That's Whit Marshall, number 36, who steps up to make the tackle, and now it's going to be 3rd down, Auburn.
Did go with a toss play, but ran it into the short side of the field. Whit Marshall, number 36, the linebacker. You're going to see it come to the right side. The linebacker, Whit Marshall, was just able to get inside the block of Smoking Joe Frazier to make the tackle.
Third down, and for Auburn to keep this one going, they need the 7-yard line of Georgia. Next from the shotgun. Pressure coming up the middle. Throws it, and incomplete at the 8-yard line. He wanted Thomas Bailey. Travis Stroud with very good pressure on the quarterback.
Good play by Travis Stroud just to force Patrick Nix to move out of the pocket and need to throw the ball on the run.
So Hawkins to attempt the field goal, and he's 12 of 16 this year, and it's going to go down at the 21-yard line. Good pass, plenty of distance, and he's got it. So it's 6-3, Georgia on top, as it's been a battle of field goals in this opening quarter. Well, don't forget, coming up after this one, 3rd game of our triple header today, UCLA at Arizona State at Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe. It's a chance to see one of the nation's top wide receivers in J.J. Stokes, who is finally healthy. UCLA, Arizona State, coming up next here on ESPN. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Mike Adamle. And hope you're enjoying our CFA primetime game tonight. The Georgia Bulldogs and the Auburn Tigers. 102 years ago, they started playing this series. Tonight is the 98th meeting. There was a short breaking off of the rivalry back during World War II, and that's the only time that these two teams have not met each year.
And Ron, we talked about it from the start that Auburn really jumps on their opponents in the first quarter, and Georgia, if this were a boxing match, they've been able to stay away from them and kind of lead here in the early going of this match, but Auburn usually has big leads on their opponents after the first quarter.
Hawkins will kick it off. Started stumbling as he came across the 10-yard line, and that's not a good place to have not your total balance.
Joe Frazier, the fullback, made the tackle, but here's what I was talking about, Ron. The first 8-9 games, they've outscored their opponents 82-17 in the first quarter, but tonight 6-3 Georgia.
And we only have 2:31 left in this opening quarter. Gets the handoff. Not much going on the left side as Anthony Harris comes up from his linebacking position very quickly. Also, Scott Stacy is there. I believe that's 6 tackles we have Harris for, at least a piece of, if not all of. He is a junior out of Fort Pierce, Florida. 96 tackles, leads the team, 6'2", 225 pounds. Fakes it to Davis this time, and the pass caught by Bryce Hunter, but he cut it out of bounds.
Chris Schelling on the coverage ran into Pat Dye, we were talking about last night. He said he went to see a high school game, a quarterback over in Columbus, Georgia. The assistant principal of Chris Schelling's school asked him to take a look at his quarterback safety, Chris Schelling, and after the game he came back and told his coach, Steve Dennis there, he said, we're recruiting the wrong player. Let's get on Schelling.
How many times does that happen, Mike?
Oh, a lot. You go looking at somebody and then somebody always catches your eye.
Third down, and Georgia needs the 29-yard line. But they have to hurry. Play clock is down to 4, down to 3. Zaya out of the backfield has it complete, close to the first down. Did he get it? Yes, sir. At the 29, Juan Daniels. And Schelling, who Mike was just talking about, is the guy who got out there to help push him out of bounds. You can see Bowie and Davis checking back into the Georgia lineup, number 15 and also number 33.
The Auburn fans expect their defense to make plays. They've made a lot of big plays this year. Of course, the LSU game where they actually won the ball game in the second half with their interceptions, but they've been a big defense to give the ball back to their offense. Big turnover team.
Play action this time. Got him wide open. Bryce Hunter, well, he stepped out of bounds at the 32. Trying to cut it back upfield as Ken Alvis came over. Now look at this. Just backs up what you're talking about. 37 quarterback sacks, 30 takeaways, and 6 turnovers. Returned for touchdown. Mike, that's the number that really grabs your head right there.
They've been an opportunistic defense. They're taking the ball away from the opponents and put points on the board.
Zaya rolls the pocket, throws that one incomplete. Actually good coverage in the secondary, and he had pressure coming from behind. As Graham was close enough to Hassan Graham that not much he could do.
Ron, here's how you control a defensive front. First down, you either run the ball, or now all of a sudden you come back with a misdirection play. It looks like a run, but see how you get the defensive lineman redirecting inside. Right now, they're controlling the defensive line with a play call. You see Wayne Hall, the defensive coordinator.
Right-hand side of your screen in that white baseball cap. Third down from the shotgun. Pressure on Zaya. He is going to be sacked, and it's Mike Pelton.
Mike Pelton, the defensive lineman who roars up the football field. What you want your defensive lineman in the 4-3 is to get up the football field, make things happen. He beat Antonio Fleming, number 69.
Short kick, and now it takes an Auburn bounce. Did it touch an Auburn player? It is out of bounds. What's it going to be? Auburn football at the 48-yard line of Georgia. Only a 25-yard kick. Take a look at those standings in the SEC. First of all, in the East, Florida with their win today, they are in the championship game as they defeated South Carolina. Georgia, of course, 6-1 and 8-1 overall. Their only falling this year was to this Auburn football team. And in the West, Alabama 7-0, Mississippi State 4-3. If State had won today, that race would have been still alive. But the Crimson Tide has won it, so they are in the championship game as well. Pass wide open to Sanders. Whew, he looked like the first guy out to the workout. Out of bounds at the 23.
Frank Sanders talked about the NCAA probation. He said, hey, the NCAA gave us this, but we're going to mess everybody else up. If we just continue to win, you're going to see the corner route. He made a move inside on Robert Edwards, number 47, and just that move created him to be wide open on the corner route.
24 yards in the pass play. Mike, I watched him last year, play left field for Auburn in the SEC West playoffs up in Oxford, Mississippi. He is an awfully good baseball player as well. Counter play. You see the move in the backfield, very subtle, nothing real fancy. But rather than being caught for a loss by Randall Godfrey, Stephen Davis takes it for positive yardage to the 20.
Ron, you're talking about his baseball. He hit 249 last year, and he was 4 for 5 in the regional championship versus Notre Dame with a home run and double. It just seems like the good ones find a way to win games.
Last year was the first year that he had played college baseball, and his mom actually wouldn't let him play for a while in high school because she said there were some kids that were playing on the team she didn't want him running with. That's going to be the end of the opening quarter. Down to 2, down to 1. Does not get the snap off, so let's take a break. The score at the end of the first quarter is Georgia 6 and Auburn 3.
Imagine video like you see in the movies. Graphics you want to reach out and touch. Numbers that fall into place instantly. If that's what you want from your PC, then there's one thing you'll want to have inside it. Because there's one thing that runs all your PC software best. The Intel Pentium processor.
It's North versus South as James Toney battles Roy Jones Jr. for the IBF Super Middleweight Championship of the World. The Uncivil War. Live Friday, November 18th from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Available only on pay-per-view. Call your cable operator to order. Brought to you by the undisputed king of beers, Budweiser.
Dean Witter believed in listening.
Listen, not only to what our clients say, but what they mean. Each client has a level of comfort. Endeavor to find it. We measure success one investor at a time.
Right now, the only place you'll want to buy tires is Sears. Sears' best-selling Goodyear tire, the Weather Handler, is on sale as low as $19.66, our lowest price of the year. All Goodyear Weather Handlers on sale now, only at Sears.
He's a private investigator.
I hear the lady screaming my name. Shane! Shane!
Where's Lorena Bobby when you need her?
She's his new partner.
Mike Tyson can beat Muhammad Ali.
That's right.
Mike Tyson can't spell Muhammad Ali.
Together, they're putting the competition to shame.
If you sing James Brown songs, dogs will not attack.
1, 2, 3. Keenan Ivory Wayans.
All the dogs are right.
Jada Pinkett.
Keep your day job.
A low-down, dirty shame. Rated R. Starts November 23rd.
It's the same thing every Saturday. He puts on those old blue jeans and goes out with that old dog, and he's gone all day. He says he's going to bring back dinner, but all he ever brings back is that old dog.
Here's to old dogs, Saturday mornings, and comfortable blue jeans. Wrangler.
Second down, and the ball just shy of the Georgia 20-yard line as we open the second quarter, and the Bulldogs on top 6-3. Now look at this, Mike. You talked about the running, and we saw so much more from Georgia than we had seen in 3 previous games. 9 and 6, the difference in time of possession.
And the other important thing about that number is you keep your defense off the field. The defense has really given up a lot of points in the last 3 games.
Running play right from where the blitz came, and he takes it to the 14-yard line. And it's a good thing that Greg Bright got a hand on him. Otherwise, Davis might have been in the end zone, tossing it back to the official.
Tommy Bowden says about his tailback, Stephen Davis, he's a Herschel Walker-type tailback. Corners and safety gets tired of hitting him in the 3rd and 4th quarter. It's a good block by Joe Frazier, number 5, for Stephen Davis. They like the fact 10, 12, 9 yards with Stephen Davis. Not the big long runs, but he'll punish you through the game.
2 tight ends this time. 3rd down, and the pitch goes to Davis. Turns it back at the 10, at the 5, and look at this. He's going to take it in for the touchdown. Hawkins has the extra point attempt block. They scramble for it, and it's going to be down at the 11-yard line. So let's take a break. With 14-11 on the second quarter clock. Philip Daniels is the man who got a hand on it, and our new score, the Auburn Tigers 9 and the Georgia Bulldogs 6. We'll be right back.
State Farm presents the rules of the game.
We're talking about legal formations. In this play, there are 5 men in the backfield. Is this a legal formation?
As soon as a State Farm customer calls with a claim, I'm right on the phone to our claims center.
We work as partners. Nancy gives me the information, then I contact our customer.
We've settled hundreds of claims together. John's attitude is...
You got to be quick, and you've got to be fair.
Quick and fair.
At State Farm, teamwork is what it's all about.
We make a great team.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We're talking about legal formations. In this play, there are 5 men in the backfield. This is not a legal formation. 5-yard penalty against the offense.
Rules of the Game has been brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For over 90 years, we've built a reputation for truck strength. Now we're adding a new dimension of even greater comfort. With the luxury of leather and a refined new interior, surrounded by all the strength you'd expect from GMC trucks, which may be the greatest comfort of all.
ESPN's presentation of Saturday Night CFA is brought to you by GMC Truck, the strength of experience. And by Sega Sports, makers of college football's national championship. Settle it on the field. Mike Pelton with a huge sack of Eric Zier earlier in that quarter. Mike, let's take a look at the touchdown one more time.
When you run the toss play, Ron, you need 3 good blocks, and you need a block by your tight end, your fullback, and your pulling guard. And they had them all for Stephen Davis on that play. We'll take a look at it after the kickoff.
Yeah, let's get them playing again. Hawkins will kick it away. It's a 3-point game. Auburn having the extra point attempt block, 9-6. And it's going to go out of bounds. Okay, Mike.
Here's what I'm talking about, Ron. When you run the toss sweep, Jesse McCorvey first, a tight end. He's going to get a block here, a tackle, a block down. Then the guard, Jason Taylor, is going to pull out and kick out. The fullback, Joe Frazier, is going to get a clean block on the linebacker. And watch this blocking. Now, this play's run perfectly. Now, the guard, Jason Taylor, is going to pick it up. But see Jesse McCorvey, number 80, all the way down. You and I could run that ball in with that type of blocking.
You know, also, what was impressive about the run, that was Randall Godfrey that really hit him a very good lick, and he just slid rather than really good balance, rather than get knocked off his feet.
I was just kidding about you and I running that ball in, too.
Well, I knew that for me. I didn't know. I knew how to speak for myself.
I'm speaking for myself, too. Stephen Davis, pretty fair running back.
There you go. Terrell Davis, he's going to be, well, no, what a fake. The ball is thrown, and it's Maurice Harrell. And down to the 42-yard line. And Mike, he completely took me with him because I thought Terrell Davis had the football, and so did Auburn.
What Maurice Harrell does a good job here. He's a tight end on the backside. He blocks first, and then he releases out. Now you're going to see him. No one around him because he blocked and showed the run, and now he's able to get up the field. Chris Schelling makes the tackle. Nice play fake by Eric Zier.
Terrell Davis, for sure, has the ball this time. Tries to break off a tackle. He's going to take it to the Auburn 35-yard line, though. And that's going to be a gain of almost 7 on the play as Mostella is there defensively.
You have to give the offensive line credit for Georgia because they're really doing a nice job against this front. You see them all blocking here. Good block by the fullback. Again, 6-yard gain on first down. That's what you want, Ron. You want to be in 2nd 3, 2nd 4 with Eric Zier at your quarterback. Get Gary Walker to jump offside, it looks like.
Yep, that's going to be a first down, Georgia.
Ball snap, offside, on a defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So it's first down. Terrell Davis, nothing to the right. He'll bounce outside to the left, has 5 yards, and is going to be pushed out inside the 25-yard line.
Looked like he dropped that football and bounced right back to him. But again, the pursuit of Auburn, this is a very quick defense, so when you show the run to the front side, everybody moves to that side, the linebacker. Now he skates back to see if he drops the ball or not. Yep, ball came out, and he got a good bounce.
Mostella is the man who reached out and knocked it out of his hand. It happened right in front of his head coach. Ray stopped breathing for a couple of seconds and then realized he had it back. Corner blitz in the running play, not going to go for anything. In fact, they may lose yardage as they're going to spot it back at the 25. And it will be a 3rd down and 5 for Georgia.
What makes this defensive play is Ken Alvis, number 9. Really didn't show Eric Zier the blitz. Number 9, you're going to see him just enter the picture. Ken Alvis to make the tackle. So, again, good disguise by the secondary. Threw Eric Zier off.
Quick out, pass it complete, and the tackle is made on Daniels, short of the first down. Now, Michael, do you go for it, or do you try what is going to be a field goal of about 40 yards?
Here's a point where you go for the field goal. You want to get back tied with him. Too many yards against this Auburn defense.
Cannon Parkman comes on, and he is going to be attempting this one from the 29-yard line. So a 39-yard attempt. Plenty of distance, and he's good. So let's go to a break with 11-17 left until halftime at our new score. Auburn 9 and Georgia 9.
At GMC Truck, we built a reputation for truck strengths. A considerable advantage that also comes in this handy take-home size. Sierra from GMC Truck.
Don't let a new car payment get you all wound up. Get Smart Lease by GMAC. It can put a new spin on affordability. Don't let a new truck payment stretch you to the limit. Get Smart Lease by GMAC. It keeps new vehicles well within reach.
Sports writers. Ever wonder how they pick football's national champion? It's a highly scientific process. It's time to settle it on the field. Introducing college football's national championship by Sega Sports. 32 top college teams going head-to-head. No sports riders, just great football action. College football's national championship, only on Sega Genesis.
Sega! Well, now for our Sega Sport Student Athletes of the Game. For the Georgia Bulldogs, wide receiver Chris McCraney. He's a 3.2 GPA, majoring in international business. And for Auburn, quarterback Patrick Nix, majoring in math and political science with a 2.95 GPA. Sega congratulates these fine student athletes. Bailey and Gaucher back in a dual deep safety for the Auburn Tigers. We're tied at 9. Thomas Bailey will not return this one. 6 plays, 43 yards, 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Zaire was 2 of 3 for 27 yards, and Parkland with the 39-yard field goal. Mike, it looks as though that health-wise, that time off really agreed with Georgia, because there's some people back that had been injured, but also it just looks as though they're rejuvenated. They're bouncing around more tonight than in the last game we saw.
Well, they have fresh legs. They're back under them, because you go through a camp where you have 25 opportunities, practice opportunities in 9 straight weeks. It's tough.
Stephen Davis, can he turn the corner? Lots of pressure, but he will have 5 yards and now 6. And let's check in with Mike Tirico. Mike?
Okay, Ron, the story in the Pac-10 is very simple. Oregon controls its own destiny. Win and get to the Rose Bowl. They have to play Stanford today. Danny O'Neal the screen, and Ricky Whittle is gone. 51-yard score, and the Ducks at the Farm lead by 17. Remember, Pac-10 action after our game. UCLA taking on Arizona State later on tonight.
Okay, Mike, thanks. You have to be happy for those kids from Oregon. It's been a long time, Mike.
And I don't believe Steve Stenstrom is playing today. I think he's out. The quarterback for Stanford.
Second down, running play. Look at the hole here. Let's check in with Mike Adamle. Mike?
Well, you know, Ron and Mike, in front of every great tailback, there's usually a hard-working fullback, and Joe Frazier has certainly filled the bill tonight. There's that tradition of this kind of stuff going on here at Auburn. Bo Jackson, the great one, his lead blocker, Tommy Agee. And then later, it was William Andrews opening holes for the likes of Joe Cribbs and James Brooke. I'll tell you, Joe Frazier throws blocks the way his foot boxing counterpart, Joe Frazier, unloaded left hooks. And watch number 5 again, the lead blocker. This time he takes on number 51 and knocks him 6, 7, 8 yards out of the play. I mean, that is unbelievable stuff. The best guy I've seen all year.
That was Travis Jones that he was picking on out there. Meanwhile, the second part of this dynamic duo is down, and this has to cause a lot of concern for the coaching staff here at Auburn, because Stephen Davis, a 1,000-yard rusher, and a guy that can take you either with the short jabs or he can take you with the home run, as we saw that 56-yarder called back earlier. He is essential to this offensive game plan.
And when I was talking to Tommy Bowden, the offensive coordinator, the other day, he was talking about his ball club here, offensively and defensively. He was telling it in the 20 games that they've had, they really haven't had any major injury. And I'm sure Terry Bowden, his brother and the head coach, would agree. The fact that they can stay healthy for that many games is unbelievable, that you don't lose starters in that time frame. But this would be a big loss if they lose Stephen Davis.
Well, it's not good that he can't come off under his own power. We'll get a report on him just as soon as we can, as Fred Beasley will come in replacing him. Fred is a true freshman, 6'1", 191 pounds.
First and 10 for Auburn, 37.
On first down, the pitch comes back to Beasley. Tries to turn the corner. Going to be hit in the backfield and knocked down at the 35-yard line. And it's Philip Benton who came across to make the hit on him, and that's a 2-yard loss.
See, he beat the block of the tight end. When you can beat the block of the tight end on a toss sweep, you take it away. Look to the left here now. He comes underneath and makes the tackle. He beat Andy Fuller's block. Philip Benton came underneath, made the tackle on Fred Beasley. Usually when that happens, you come back and run the belly with the fullback.
Nick straight back in the pocket, zings it out in the flat. That's Sanders, and he's going to be about a yard short of the first down as Frank made the catch and then was pushed out of bounds by Carlos Yancey.
Good out route by Patrick Nix to Frank Sanders. And you're looking at a receiver, you talked about it, Ron, the fact of tall and lanky, but he's 200 pounds. He's a physical receiver.
Third down and short for Auburn. See the pitch and the hit in the backfield, and right there, Randall Godfrey came across and made the hit on Beasley, and Auburn is going to have to kick the football away.
Well, you figured it would be a matter of time till Randall Godfrey shows up in this game defensively, the leading tackler and the leading player on the defense. Number 42, you're going to see him sneak up here just at the last second, and he's able to come through. Able to come through and make the play. You see number 66 pull. Jason Taylor came right behind him.
Good hanging spiral as McCraney is calling for the fair catch at the 20-yard line. 37 yards on the kick. And down on the sideline, they continue to work on Stephen Davis. So Georgia comes back on the field, and the Georgia faithful in the end zone to our left as you look at Davis standing and applauding their charges, because we are tied at 9 with 8 minutes 48 seconds left until halftime.
I haven't kept track totally, but I think most of the offensive plays, I can only remember 1 or 2 plays in the shotgun tonight for Eric Zier. So the fact that they moved him under center tonight with the threat of the run has really helped this ball club.
You're right. Terrell Davis has 5, has 10, counted off at 15 yards, and he's out to the 35-yard line. And the Georgia Bulldogs, the biggest change tonight, are running the football against a very good run defense.
And if they can get to 130, 150 yards, they got a chance for the upset, because that means they're controlling the clock and they're moving the football. And they're frustrating Mike Pelton and the defensive line of Auburn.
They say officially 14 yards on the carry.
You work all week on the passing game trying to stop Eric Zier, and they come in, give you a little change up and run the football.
Running play again. Davis will have 3. And let's go down to the sideline, and Mike Adamle has an update on the injury to Davis. Mike?
Especially good news for Auburn fans. A bruised, the outside part of his right calf was bruised. They put ice on it right now. They're going to let him sit for a series, perhaps 2. Steve tried to put some weight on it, said it doesn't hurt, so we expect him back in the ball game.
Okay, that is good news for Auburn faithful. Right now, the situation, second down for Georgia. We're tied at 9 apiece and about to hit the halfway mark of the second quarter. Zier zings it out of the backfield, and it's incomplete. It's very good coverage by Miska on the tight end Warner.
Well, Jason Miska is the walk-on from Bridgeport, Connecticut. His parents told him either to go to the military or go south and go to school, so he came down to Auburn and walked on. He's 180 pounds. Worked at the subway here in town 8 at night till 4 in the morning. Went to school, worked out. Wayne Hall said it proves you can do anything you want to do if you work at it. And Jason Miska's become a real good middle linebacker.
He really has. He worked more than he ate until 4 in the morning, though.
And now he's 218 pounds, so he's got a lot of Subway sandwiches in him.
Third down, the line to make the 45. Zier's pass is caught, and the tackle with that last lick from behind, I don't know. He may have picked up the first down. Yeah. Fred Smith and Charles Rose. I think that was his own player who came into the pile and knocked him forward.
Usually that's what happens. Your own player gives you a little bit of advantage there and knocked him for the first down. Juan Daniels with a good catch. He didn't have the first down, Ron. You're right. When he makes this catch, he's about a yard short.
Here comes the lick. Now watch this. Well, actually,
Charlie Rose, number 31, Scott Stacy, number 54.
Knocked him forward, and that was enough to move the chains. Under 7 minutes until halftime. Terrell Davis on the right side, nothing there. He's going to lose a couple of yards. Marcellus Mostella, one of the linebackers, and he's had a good one tonight.
The other change that you see in Georgia tonight, the Georgia fans that are watching this ball game that have followed them all year, is the use of a tight end. Maurice Harrell tonight, number 49, is playing quite a bit, and he is a good pass receiver for them. They may go to him or Larry Bowie on this side, the short side, work the tight end and the running back.
Zier pass overthrown. Well, coming up tomorrow night at the Pontiac Silverdome, 8 o'clock Eastern time, David Craig rallied the Lions to a strong comeback in last Sunday's game against Green Bay after starting quarterback Scott Mitchell's broken hand kept him out of the game. Craig is going to be starting for Mitchell. Barry Sanders leads the NFL in rushing. So tomorrow night, the Buccaneers and the Lions, 8 o'clock Eastern time, here on ESPN.
This is where Auburn and Wayne Hall looks for the interception. Eric Zier's got to be very careful here on this play. 3rd and 13.
Zier over the middle. Got him running. Hassan Graham, and is not going to have the first down at the 46-yard line of Auburn as Fred Smith finished him off. Graham is a little bit slow in getting up and now limping off the field. You think Zier might have wanted to go for it there?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt they want to go for it, but Ray Goff is playing the percentages and punting the football here with 4th and a yard and a half to go. And I think it's a good call. I really do. I think it's a call where your defense is playing fairly well. Punt them in the hole.
Langley trying to do that at the 5-yard line, and it's going to go into the end zone. And Auburn will come back out to the 20. 46-yard kick. Let's take a break.
On any given day, Jerome Bettis can be found on a football field, shortening the careers of those who venture into his path. The Nike Air Grid trainer can be found there and Hibbett Sporting Goods.
You're showing this commercial in Dallas, right?
If you're tired of tiny lunches with big prices, it's time for a change. Try Bojangles Chicken Filet Biscuit Lunch Combo. Now, I know it's a mouthful, but that's the beauty of it. It's a tender chicken filet, fried crispy and spicy on the outside, juicy on the inside. Surrounded by a fresh, warm Bojangles made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Add your seasoned fries and a medium drink, and there it is, folks. It's only $2.99 for Bojangles Grape Cajun flavor. Hey, I'm not in it for the money, but there's no reason you shouldn't be.
Bojangles, just gotta have more.
You trade with China.
Please, how many great linebackers has Shanghai produced? Of course they're going to be free.
If there's a team instead of an owner and the big play doesn't involve lawyers, then you're watching college football on ESPN. Tonight at 10, UCLA heads to Tempe, Arizona to take on the Sun Devils of Arizona State.
Georgia 9 and Auburn 9 with 5:31 remaining until halftime. And Mike Gottfried, look who is back out on the playing field. Number 48 for the Auburn Tigers, Stephen Davis. We'll see how bad that injury is to his leg. By the way, here's a note. 4th down conversions. Georgia 0 for 4 in 9 games this year. Maybe that's another reason Ray Goff didn't want to go for it.
Don't think that wasn't playing in his head a little bit.
Takes this one to Davis. Going to go on top and has it complete. Thomas Bailey and shoved out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Mike Tirico, what do you have for us?
Morano, a wonderful day in the Pac-10 for Rob Johnson. His stats, 25 of 35, 390 yards. Ed Hervey catches one of his 3 TD passes, left the game late, re-injuring the ankle, but Southern Cal beat Arizona, and Oregon now at the half has scored again. They lead by 24.
Wow. This band, the Ducks, 31-7 at halftime.
And the Desert Swarm, and they've given up a lot of points. 45 today to USC.
Beasley has checked in the ballgame, replacing Davis at tailback. Next, throws it in and out of the hands as the ball is knocked loose. Willie Gaucher really got wrecked by Carlos Yancey.
When you're throwing that football, Patrick Nix has to put a little bit more on this one, because Carlos Yancey arrived the same time Willie Gaucher and the football arrived.
Mike, you look at Gaucher. He and Tyrone Goodson are the 2 backup receivers, and they play a lot. Gaucher, there's the hit. Gaucher is 6'2", but he only weighs 167. And Goodson is 6'3" and weighs 170. And Tommy Bowden, the receivers coach, has nicknamed him Stick and Bones, and that was bones that just almost got broken in 2.
If the NCAA let him, maybe they can go get a job at Subway with Jason Miska.
They need to be eating something, don't they? This is complete to Bailey on the near sideline, and he's pushed out at the 50-yard line, and that is just about at the first down marker. Robert Edwards.
They have a cushion on the outside for Thomas Bailey. He's working against Robert Edwards, number 47. The cushion is too big. I mean, they're just... But what happens to you is you try to stop that running game. You're going to see Thomas Bailey come off the ball and see the cushion is too big by Robert Edwards, number 47. The catch is made, and the yardage after is another 4 or 5 yards. So you're going to have to tighten Robert Edwards up. But again, the reason that is a cushion is because they're trying to stop the run with the safeties.
Play action on first down. Far side of the field, and the ball is caught. This time it's Frank Sanders at the 34-yard line, and Yancey is there to make the play.
Same thing we're talking about on the other side because they're trying to stop the run. Look at here. This is the cushion before the snap of the ball. Once the ball is snapped, Carlos Yancey, number 20, is backing up. Number 81, Frank Sanders, I mean, he's all alone, and all you can do is come up and make the tackle.
Terry Bowden made the point at our meeting with him day before yesterday. The thing about Sanders that's so important, if they double cover, that when they see that kind of respect, then the toss sweep works well to the other side. If he gets singled, they send him on top. Pitch comes to Davis. Turns it upfield, almost loses the ball, and he's inside the 20 to the 18-yard line as Rouse makes the tackle.
Will Muschamp, you can't tackle the football like Will Muschamp's trying to do here. He comes down and almost gets the football, but you have to wrap up a big back. Number 48, Stephen Davis, is 6'2", 223. You've got to tackle him low because he's a load to bring him down. You can't arm tackle Stephen Davis.
Beasley checks back in, and also Harold Morrow, junior out of Maplesville, is working at fullback, replacing Joe Frazier. See those corners creeping up as the blitz comes, and the pass is well overthrown. And that was Corey Johnson who was coming on the blitz, and he really gave Patrick Nix a good shot.
Auburn's having their way with the Georgia defense in this series. They're throwing the ball to the outside because they've got the one-on-one coverage. Then when they try to get the safeties involved in coverage, they run Stephen Davis on the toss sweep.
Michigan 36, Bowling Green 33.
Keep waiting. I keep waiting for Joe Frazier to get the football on a little belly play up inside.
Pitch to Davis. Frazier in front blocking at the 10, and a couple of yards short of the first down is Thomas out front blocking on the play, and Muschamp is up from the secondary to make the hit.
Leonard Thomas, number 60, is the front side guard. You'll see him lead the play and block number 36, Whit Marshall. Also a good block, as you said, by Joe Frazier. And Georgia defense now is reeling a little bit on this series.
3 minutes and 39 seconds left until halftime. Georgia 9 and Auburn 9, and the Tigers trying to break the tie. See the corners creeping up again. The pitch goes to Davis, tries to bounce off the tackle, and that's a great job by Muschamp. Will not let him out of his grasp, and we've got a fourth down situation.
Ron, you go back to the fourth down call that Ray Goff punted the football, and I thought it was a good call at the time because your defense was playing well. You kicked them into deep in the end zone. They almost had a chance to keep it inside the 10, but they didn't. But now Auburn has just moved the football against this Georgia defense at will.
So let's take a timeout. Auburn wants one. 3:05 left until halftime.
It's a boy. I didn't want to cry because it would make my wife cry, and it's emotional.
For moments this important, Kodak introduces new Royal Gold film.
There's nothing more important in life than your kids. I guess the rest of my life is going to be devoted to them.
New Royal Gold is extra sharp, extra clear, for the details you'll save for a lifetime.
I think he looks like me, so we named him after the right person.
New Kodak Royal Gold, for the moments that matter most.
There is a place in New England where runners run the factory that builds the shoes. Shoes known far and wide for great comfort and perfect fit. And now a new kind of shoe from New Balance will be known far and wide for great comfort and perfect fit. American Classics. A casual shoe for the competitor.
Canada. It's a land like no other, with a beer like no other. Molson Ice. Ice brewed by North America's oldest brewery to be colder and bolder. Yet smooth as ice. Molson Ice, from the land where ice was born.
Welcome back to Auburn, Alabama. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Mike Adamle. And this is a great shot from our end zone camera that is literally mounted on the goalpost. As you look at Terry Bowden, his ball club with the 4th down, less than a yard, and the crowd's going to let you know if they pick up the 1st down or not. We are tied at 9 apiece. Nix on the quarterback sneak. 1st and goal, Auburn Tigers.
Good surge by Shannon Robique, the center. A lot of people think he's the best center in the league. He's a lot like Alabama's center last year, Toby Shields. Shannon's from outside Baton Rouge, Louisiana. LSU did not offer him. His mom works there in the law school. Came to Auburn and has developed into one of the better centers in the Southeastern Conference.
First comment that the coaches made about him, great feet. Inside, there's your fullback, Frazier at the 1, does not get in. 2nd and goal, Auburn. Edwards defensively.
Quick hitting play, makes you look like it's a toss sweep when Patrick Nix wheels around. But the ball's given to Joe Frazier, and with that big offensive line, they're on you so fast that you really can't even find the 6-foot Joe Frazier. Just quarterback sneak it in here as well as they did that quarterback sneak the last time.
Shannon Robique out of the huddle and over the football. Auburn tied at 9 with Georgia trying to break out of it right here. Nix, touchdown.
Hey, Ron, you have to take your hat off to Patrick Nix on that drive. Good outside throws to Bailey and Sanders. Just a nice drive by the Auburn offense.
You're exactly right. Hawkins trying to put him up 16-9. And he does. So we'll hold it right here. 2 minutes exactly left until halftime, but it's Auburn 16 and Georgia 9. Well, as you know, Auburn has won 20 in a row. What are the all-time streaks? Here they are right here. Alabama twice with 28, 78 through 80, did 91 through 93. Tennessee 1937 through 39, they had 23 straight wins. Alabama with 20, 24 through 26, and Auburn now 1993 through 1994. I would comment that Alabama streak up there, the 91 through 93, we did their last loss, Mike. They lost down to Florida, then did not lose again, and then came and was perfect the next year to win that national championship. Remember that?
Right. If Auburn continues to win and they go into next season and the schedule stays the same, who do you think the team would be that they would play here to break that streak of 28 games?
I haven't counted.
Take a guess.
I'm going to middle of the season.
Yes.
Not Florida.
Florida Gators would be that 29th game if they could keep going.
That game doesn't need incentive to get people excited, does it?
No, I thought I'd just throw it out there.
16-9, Auburn leads. And we'll see what the Dogs can come up with here in the final 2 minutes of this half. They have been very effective on offense in the opening half, but unable to score a touchdown. Hines Ward. And let's go down to Mike Adamle. Mike, what do you have for us?
Well, you know, Terry Bowden knows the streak can't last forever, and he's prepared for the inevitable. Still, you have to go back 2 years to find the last time one of his teams tasted defeat. November 1992 in the Division I AA playoffs when the Delaware Blue Hens swamped his Bulldogs 56-21. It ended a 9-3 season. Interestingly enough, one of the other losses that year, his predecessor, Pat Dye, Auburn whipped Samford that year 55-zip.
Tubby Raymond and the Delaware Wing Tees beat a lot of teams.
Georgia's got 1:46 seconds. Pass well overthrown. Bryce Hunter's who he wanted, but that was a very difficult one to complete, and Auburn had squeezed him off. That would have had to have been perfectly thrown.
Number 24.
Boston College whipped Syracuse today. Score just came across. Mike Mamula, I watched him a little bit in some highlights today. Made some big plays again for that Boston College team, and they're on a roll.
Mike, we had them last week against Louisville, and they're an impressive football team. Good offensive line. The front seven is very, very good defensively.
Excellent tight end, Pete Mitchell, maybe one of the best tight ends in the country.
Zaire's pass complete. Can't get out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Corey Allen, who is a freshman, 6'2", 175 pounds, getting some playing time as we come down to the end of this season.
Georgia can pick up this first down round. They still have 3 timeouts with 1:18 to go on the clock.
Pass incomplete. He was moving inside, and Juan Daniels needed or had it thrown to the outside. And no doubt that Georgia's got to punt this one away.
Now, if you're Auburn, you may go after the punt with 1:06 to go.
Zaire hits to the sideline, 11 of 21, 135 yards. Thomas Bailey, the deep man, signals for the fair catch and makes it at the 20-yard line. Well, coming up on the GMAC halftime report, the Penn State nail-biter. How about the Alabama scare and the Miami close call? There were a number of those nail-biter scares and close calls today, and we'll talk about them all coming up at halftime on the GMAC halftime report.
If this score holds up and Auburn wins this football game, you think this is going to be a big week in this state?
You live in this state, and you know how big it is.
It's a big week, and it's a big week in March. In April, that's all they talk about.
Oh, my.
Great state. They love their football.
57 seconds left until halftime. And Nix is going to go from the shotgun. It looks like they're going to set up a screen on his first down play. Davis, they get him out in the flat. Boy, you get him in the open field, he is extremely dangerous. He'll have 14 on this play.
And Auburn has 1 timeout left with 46 seconds.
Beasley checks in quickly, and as we watch Davis come off the field, Mike, he really is limping on that right leg.
Georgia better keep their eyes on Frank Sanders, number 81.
Zips that one in the flat, complete at the 39 to Fred Beasley, who has come back in at tailback. And now a timeout has been taken by Auburn, and that's the last one that the Tigers have in this first half. 33 seconds until halftime, and let's check in once again with Mike Tirico.
Okay, Ron, you were mentioning that close call for Miami. The Canes were up 7-6 in the second quarter, and they put a triple sandwich, knocking John Ryan, the quarterback, out of the game. He came back in. Here's a Costa pass to freshman tailback Trent Jones. 31 yards for the score, though Costa didn't finish the game. Collins did. 17-12 the final there. How did the Gators do today? Taking on South Carolina at home, up 24-10 in the third. Another punt block. They've had 4 this year. Mike Harris picks it up and takes it in, and Florida wins 48-17.
Mike, thanks. You know, special teams with some clubs, it's a week in and week out thing. That Florida team has prospered so many times off the special teams again this year.
Well, Steve Spurrier moved Ron Zook to the special teams coordinator, and they have worked so hard on blocking kicks down there. They've made it a habit, and when it's just not something that you luck into. You either work at it and you work at it diligently, or you give lip service to it. Florida does not give lip service to the special teams.
Florida was behind in that ball game. You know, last year they had to come from behind to beat South Carolina, but then they went ahead and pulled it out big today. Time is back in. 33 seconds until halftime. Auburn 16-9. Bailey just couldn't get up that tall at the 45-yard line.
Marion Campbell has to be pleased with the way his defense has played, except for the last drive. Auburn looked like they were, as they moved the ball, kind of at will the last drive. But Marion Campbell did a nice job preparing this game plan tonight here in the first half.
Three-man rush for the Bulldogs on third down. A hazard over the middle, incomplete. And Bailey took quite a shot. He bounces right back up. But the Auburn players are taking some shots tonight.
Whit Marshall, number 36, is going to get a good piece of Thomas Bailey, number 18, in the ribs.
So Daniel to punt it away with 23 seconds until halftime. Bounces out of bounds at the 26, so Georgia will have to fall on it one time. It's a 36-yard kick, and there's 15 seconds now showing on the clock. Zire, 60%. 10,911 yards, 63 touchdowns, and 36 interceptions. And you see NFL record, or NFL record, SEC record in the box. Every time he completes another one, it just increases it.
He's 89 yards away from the record. Steve Spurrier said he may be the best to ever play in the SEC. Pretty good compliment from a pretty good quarterback himself.
Zaire going to put it on top. Good coverage and knocked away. Allen is the man that he wanted. Chris Schelling was back there with him.
When you look at quarterbacks in the SEC, you talk about Eric Zaire, but I think you have to talk about Jay Barker and Patrick Nix. And these two just keep winning, and they're the same type of quarterbacks. In the Alabama game today, Jay Barker made plays again today late in the ball game. He just knows how to win.
And he really does, doesn't he? So they'll go with a running play. Hines Ward takes it straight ahead, and with that, that's the end of the first half with our score. Auburn 16 and Georgia 9. Now let's check in with Mike Tirico for the GMAC halftime report. Michael.
Okay, Ron, so Georgia, which has allowed, what, 125 points in the last 3 games, tightening it up on defense, just a 7-point lead for Terry's Tigers. Coming up at halftime, close calls for Penn State.